Hey guys, this is Eva again. Good morning. I just got back from Louisiana. I was speaking there a few times and it was really fun. But anyway, I'm back and making some videos. So today I'm talking about how to create a package or program if you are a coach, healer, nutritionist, anything around that field. Because what's really important, what I see people doing is charging time, money for time, meaning they are having clients come over for an hour, hour and a half, whatever. They're charging $150 an hour, whatever it is. A lot of them charge even less, which is crazy to me because you have to look at it from this perspective. How much time and effort does it take you to generate that client? And it's like all these networking meetings, all this time you're spending, and it's just like you're not getting anywhere because you have client come in once and then never come back because they got whatever, and some of you do like packages, like you come 4 times and you get a discount. Still not it. Still cannot make money that way. And you cannot deliver value that way because you know better than anybody else because you have been through the process. You need somebody to hold your hand, hold you accountable, and take you through the steps it takes to create transformation for your clients. I was just talking to somebody when I was speaking on the East Coast, and she's really, really awesome, and she's a branding expert. So much value. She is a personal branding expert. So she teaches you how to, about your color palette, about your brand, about your, website branding, what you should wear, all this stuff. And the crazy, crazy thing, I think she charges, I forgot, but it was like $100 or $200 for a session or something like that. It's just that the results are extraordinary. And then I see somebody doing it in Boulder, a little bit of a higher level, a little bit more experience, really, really awesome person, but really, really somebody who has honed it in, and she has multi-$1,000 packages and really takes client through the steps and hold them accountable to the transformation versus just giving them a one-time session and then be done with them. So there's value for her and value for the clients too. And yes, they have to pay more money, but they also, I have seen people who are her clients and just have tons and tons of transformation. So I'm like, okay, there's a disconnect here. And there's a lot of mindset stuff going on for a lot of people where they're like, well, I can't imagine, like I talk to a lot of people, like, well, I can't imagine charging $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 for a client for a package. And I'm like, well, that's because you have never spent the money yourself on the training. And I can see it now because I've spent so much money on my business training, and I know it's worth it. When you invest that kind of money, you get the kind of results, it's worth it. But anyway, so I'm gonna get off my rant about this, and I wanna give you some quick tools about this. So how do you create a program? First of all, most likely you need to look back at where you were 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago, what you were struggling with and what you overcame. Like for example, like for me, 5 years ago, whatever, I was in my restaurant struggling, working 20 hours a day, whatever, right? So now, what's the steps it took to go from there to working 10 hours a week at the restaurant? So that would be an example. And then I create a program out of the steps that it took. And one of my programs is actually that way. Like step number 1, get clear about what your role is going to be. Step number 2, put processing around your financials. Step number 3, process around automate your marketing. Step number 4, elevate your leadership. Empower people to lead so you don't have to be there all the time. That's an example. I'm just throwing this out there. My package is actually my program is actually a little bit different. But that gives you an example. For example, if you're a health coach, right? You look where you were 5 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever, it doesn't matter. It can be earlier than that. And then you look at where you're now, and most likely you have had a lot of transformation, otherwise you would not be called to be a health coach, right? And so then you look at what is the steps, what is the process that it took for me to get there, get here, I mean. So step number 1, I did this. Step number 2, I cleaned up my fridge. Step number 3, I had somebody hold me accountable to work out every day, right? I found an accountability buddy, or I hired a coach. Step number 4, I don't know, whatever it is for you, right? So What you gotta do is sit down and really just do it in an hour. Just play some music and just let the flow come in, brainstorm, and start thinking about what's the steps that it took to get you where you are now. Write it out. That's gonna be the base for your program, because you know this stuff. You don't have to be even certified in this stuff. You went through the process, and now your gift, like the struggles that you had, that is your gift. Like, I was talking to somebody yesterday. She was in an abusive relationship that she got out of. She almost died. Like, he locked her up at home. It's crazy stuff. But it took a process for her to empower herself. And I'm like, okay, well, that's your gift. You gotta help other women to do the same. Like, you went through the struggles. Now it is your turn to help other people. But you gotta get clear and really go within and think back. What did it take for you to get you here? So I hope that makes sense. If you need help with something like that, as always, you're welcome to schedule a call, send me an email, and I can give you 40 minutes of free coaching. We'll look at whether we might work together or not, one way or another. As long as I have slots in my calendar, I like to give some free coaching to people to see if I can help them. All right, so I will be back probably soon with the next video. Hope this was helpful.